All right, hello and welcome to Swing It and Ding It, an iHeartMedia podcast. This is Moose, along with Matthews and Harry Mays, back from a brief vacation, well-deserved vacation. Let's face it. I mean, the guy needed to get out of here. He needed to get out of this weather that we're dealing with in
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
I should have
I
stayed
mean,
down there.
I am coming to you live from a closet in Daytona Beach, Florida, right now. And the weather has been spectacular all week. And again, it just makes me think, what are we doing, Harry?
Yeah.
Like Danielle knows. She grew up here, and she's like, nah. We're
Never coming
dumb.
back.
We are not smart. There's no reason why we couldn't do everything that we do in a warmer place where we could play golf more. But I digress because we have a guest, and this is something that I think is hopefully going to resonate with a lot of our listeners because we talk about it a lot, and we know the difference when this happens. But let's bring in John Quirk from On Demand Golf. Improve, instruct, connect. John, what's up, man? Welcome to Swing It and Ding It.
Hey guys, Moose, Danielle, Harry, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Excited to be here and talk to you and your audience about something that would resonate with them, I think.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I was looking at some of the stats that you guys put out there about, the percentage of golfers that don't get lessons and the challenges of why maybe they don't. So talk to us about, the genesis of this concept, this app, and how you took it from an idea into actual reality.
Yeah, sure. So I would say the genesis of the app was, one day I was sitting there before a tournament, and I play competitive tournaments, and I was like, yeah, like my game's in terrible shape, but I know the guys that I normally go to for instruction are probably not available on short notice. So I was kind of thinking, wouldn't it be nice if there's an app where people can just kind of instantly connect with whoever's available in their area, a qualified, certified instructor, kind of like on their schedule. So I kind of ran with that idea and contacted like an app developer, and kind of it's been progressing up until what it is now. But basically, the on-demand golf app, like the whole mission of it is it's an app that makes it easy for golfers to find a lesson from a golf instructor in their area, on their time. And as an instructor, it's a great opportunity for you to fill your teaching gaps with more clients by really providing a way for us everyday golfers to not have to jump through loops to schedule a lesson.
Jack, I saw a highlight. I know you talked about anybody being able to sign up, but also let's highlight that the app is free for any golf instructor who's looking to grow their book of business. So there's instructors, whether it's private club, public club, they can be on this, be on your app for free.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's a home run for any instructor that even wants to put a few hours of availability per week. And a lot of the times in my office space, it's funny. There's people that I guess know I play golf because I have kind of like a fun little Instagram that I post golf videos on, and they're like, Jack, like I just got into golf. I really want to take a lesson, but I have no idea like how to do it. And it just kind of resonates with the whole idea of the app. I just tell them go to On Demand Golf app, and it will show you who's available on what day you want. And then once you book a lesson with one of our instructors on there, then you'll have a My Instructors page where you can kind of have access to their monthly availability. So then you can go in and rebook a lesson with someone you're comfortable with.
Are there any highlights of like local instructors that have joined the On Demand app in the Philadelphia area?
Highlights as far as like which instructors, or just like kind of like experience?
Yeah, like really popular instructors or experience any of it.
Yeah, I mean, I like to highlight like Kyle Spalding at the First Tee of Philadelphia. I met Kyle like a year and a half ago, and we kind of got him onboarded, and he gave a lesson to my girlfriend through the app, and she was like absolutely ecstatic with his ability to communicate, and I was very impressed too. Like she was actually hitting in the air after just rolling the ball off the tee. And then we have a couple country club guys in the area. Like I don't really want to like highlight names. There's about 15 of them, but we have good coverage between like Philly, Monco, Bucks County, and we've done every lesson we've done. Basically, the feedback is just that it's a nice and easy way for an instructor not to have to go to their computer and answer an email or go to their phone and answer text and be like, I can't do it this time. Oh, can you do it this time? It's just, both parties know that the other party's available at that time, and then they connect. So I think it takes away in today's world, everyone's so fast paced and wants everything quick. So if I go on a website and I have to fill out like a contact submission form to get in touch with an instructor, and then he replies 3 days later, I might not want to take a golf lesson anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're an accomplished player, Jack, and you're looking for a lesson. That's a little different, than maybe a beginner, who's saying, I really need lessons, but it's kind of an intimidating thing, to approach a golf professional. Maybe you're not really, dialed into that world. So this must make this really easy, right?
Yeah. It's got to be very intimidating because some instructors at country clubs do give lessons to outside members, but as a new golfer, I would never know that.
Right.
And I would definitely be intimidated to reach out. So I think if we can kind of lower that bar a little bit and make it more accessible, then maybe that 90% of golfers that don't take golf lessons will now be like, hey, this is a fun way to get into the game.
Yeah. No doubt. We all know these guys, right, Harry? Like they're on the range. They're not at a computer, right? They're not checking emails. Yeah. They are on, out there with players teaching. So this is a really cool thing. John, question, I've had to do it before. We probably all have, where you take that emergency lesson, right? You're playing in a 2-day member guest. You go out the first day and you absolutely stink. You can't get your wedge to get off the ground. You're like, I need to see someone. You're looking around. How quickly can someone hop on with? I guess it's all based on availability, but that option, I'm sure, as this grows and more instructors go on, that would be something that's available to people.
Yeah, that's classic. The emergency lesson. That's exactly what I was referring to. But yeah, you can book up to as close as 3 hours in advance, because obviously we want to give the instructor time to see the notification on their phone that they've been requested.
Yeah, you should know if you stink by noon, right? And then you can book a 4 p.m. lesson and you're good to go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but as more instructors put in their availability, there probably should be someone within like a 10-mile radius that can give you that emergency lesson to make sure you're not embarrassing yourself and that member guest.
Now, are all the lessons virtual, or do you have the option to have a lesson in person as well?
They're actually all in person. I probably should have been more clear about that. So we're kind of just like a master connector for the instructor and the student.
Very cool.
Yeah. So then how do you grow this thing now with regards to the pros? Like, how do you get more guys involved, as far as an availability, to give lessons?
I think it's just a matter of awareness, continuing to get the word out. And part of that mission is we're excited that we're hosting a Pro-Am event May 21st in Jeffersonville. So I thought that would be, if I could host a Pro-Am, it would be a great way to kind of bring awareness to the app, allow the local instructors to compete for another cash purse. And we're also going to be donating sponsor proceeds to the First Tee of Philadelphia, which I'm excited about that too, because it kind of goes along with our mission. The First Tee is trying to bring more people into the game from an early age. And, our mission is to make lessons less intimidating and, allow new beginners to enjoy the game by getting a little better.
Talk about that event. How can people find out information on it? Is there still spots available?
Yeah, so we have a website through eventcaddy.com. So I think
that's who we use for our outing, actually.
Yeah. Now that I think of it, I'm not sure if they can just search it, but we have a link on our Instagram.
We'll share a link. If you send it to us, John. We'll send it out on our socials too, so people can find it.
Perfect. Yeah, so basically 3 amateurs, you can buy either a threesome or you can just register as a single player and we'll pair you up with other amateurs. The amateurs will be playing with a local pro, and they'll play a net shamble, and the pro will play low gross, and they'll be competing for prizes. There'll be beverages on the course, and then afterwards there's going to be a made-to-order meal, and it's all tee times for the outing. Just because Jeffersonville is such a busy course, and it's hard to lock them down for a whole day, but they're starting at 8:30 and ending at 12. And we do have, I think, 6 threesomes left as far as amateurs. So,
Cool.
yeah, people can definitely go to your guys' social, and we have the link in our bio at On Demand Golf app.
And that's Tuesday, May 21st, over at Jeffersonville, which is a tremendous golf course, man. I gather House is involved in this, right?
Yeah, Mike Hauser. Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome.
He's the best. But like, as this thing grows, I'd imagine like Moose is down in Daytona, and he's playing around, before he heads home. But if he needs a lesson and he's on the road, I imagine as this thing grows, he could pick up a lesson in Daytona Beach, right?
Yeah, 100%. I was thinking that would be super cool. Like if you're on even if you're on a work trip,
right?
And rather than just hang back at the hotel, you're down in Florida, you're gonna be like, I'll go get a golf lesson.
Yeah.
Especially now too, right? As accessible are people on social media, right? Somebody might stand out to you that like, wow, that guy like is a specialist in the short game area, right? Or Danielle, like a Jason Bell, right? A super instructor, right, to the stars, right? But maybe someone, as these guys build out their teams too, we know that happens a lot where it's like, just like any other business where you have like the head guy and then you have, their other instructors under them. That would be really cool because people might start seeking out some of these folks, knowing what their knowledge base is.
Yeah, or just browsing on the app and being like, wow, he's accessible. I never thought I could get in with that guy. I think that's a really cool element too.
Yeah, 100%. And like Danielle, you mentioned asking about virtual lessons, and kind of like from the beginning, I've always been an advocate of just in person. I think the experience you get from being in person is just better. They can show you there like what they want you to do at the club. And virtual is great too, but I just think like the in person is like a special experience.
You can't beat it.
Yeah, you can't beat it.
Yeah,
it's like
virtual hardly ever existed before COVID. Now everything's got to have a virtual element to it.
Right, you got to figure out how to make money. All right, yeah. Like look at my grip. Is it good?
right.
Let me hold it up to the camera.
Exactly. It's like put your camera directly behind you.
So give out your Instagram, Jack, because we want people to follow you if you're putting up videos and they can find out more about the app.
Yeah. It's at On Demand Golf app on Instagram. So at On Demand Golf app. And then our website is ondemandgolfapp.com. The link to the Apple Store and Android, if you want to download the app, is right on our website. And it's also within the link in the bio on our Instagram. And we're excited for people to just kind of get into the game, really. And like I had a coworker that actually took a lesson with a great instructor. We have Daniel Guest up in Doylestown. It was indoor, rainy day, but he had never taken a lesson. And I went there and watched him, take it. And it was funny because he actually had like an unbelievable swing. You would have thought he's like a 5 handicap, but he's probably a 30 handicap. And he was so excited about the experience to be able to just learn from a golf instructor. And he was like, wow, I never really thought of these concepts. So I think, anyone that wants to just dive into taking lessons, it's not really as intimidating or, as crazy as you think. The instructors aren't necessarily going to break down your swing and try to completely overhaul you. They're just going to give you more of an understanding of, how to get better.
Great stuff, man. On Demand Golf, check it out. Hoping this thing grows and continues to grow. Curious to see, in a year or two where this is, because it's an awesome concept, right? I always thought if you weren't swinging, you could just buy a new club, Harry.
Right. That'll fix everything, right?
Right. Yeah, but instruction actually can help you a lot. So continued success. Make sure you check these guys out, and if you're interested in the upcoming outing at Jeffersonville, we'll share the information on that too. But thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it. It's great
Thank
talking.
you.
All right, take care.
You got it. All right, let's take a quick break, and we will be right back. All right, welcome back to Swing It and Ding It on Demand Golf. You know what I love about the every time I've gotten any kind of instructions, they love giving you hope, right? They love that they'll hit you with like, there's like 5% of the golfers in the world do that one thing that you do, right? Like that's what like Rory does, and you're like, really?
Yeah.
And meanwhile,
most of the people I teach can't get the club up. You're like,
you
wow.
walk out, you're like, yeah. Meanwhile, you still can't play.
Right.
But they, part of it is psychology, right? Part of it is confidence, because we know how big it is in golf. So I get why they do it, but it's funny. Like, you'll talk to people to take a lesson, and they'll tell you that, right? They'll tell, you know what he told me? He told me that when I come down, very few people get that club where I'm
in the slot. Yeah.
factor.
But no, that's a great idea. I mean, it's, he's given his perspective. Jack's an accomplished player, needed a lesson. And, then you get the people that are just beginning, and a lot of people are beginning with golf since COVID. And, I don't know if they've all taken lessons. I always recommend, like, if somebody like my nephew's taken up the game, I gave him a set of clubs, I re-gripped them. And I recommend he takes 3 lessons. Like, if you're going to be serious about trying to give it a go, you should really book a lesson, and then with the intent of getting 2 more down the line, where you can sort of build on the fundamentals. And it's a very intimidating concept for people.
Yeah.
And I think this app would really remove a lot of that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Harry, I think you said something great with, take one and then make sure you at least have follow-ups.
Right.
Brad will always say, there's no point in me working with somebody once.
Right.
Because you work with them and then it's like, okay, did they apply it? Did they not? So those follow-up, those 2 and 3 lessons are usually like what really gets you to
They're huge. Yeah.
What you're working
on. The first one is the grip, the stance, all the setup, all the fundamentals. And then you got to work on that, because it's a very uncomfortable thing to grip a golf club the correct way. It's an awkward move. Everything about golf is kind of awkward.
If it feels wrong, it's right.
It's right. Exactly. It's the most counterintuitive sport ever.
It truly is.
And it's really about like a match too, right? Like, some people are very data driven, right? Some instructors are very data driven. They want to know the numbers, what's the spin rate. Some people just want to be out in the dirt, like the instructors, like BQ says, just find it in the dirt, right? And you don't really need all that, because these guys know what they're looking at. They don't need to go look at a monitor. They know in their head.
Right.
But some people respond better to being able to come back, looking at the data, and like trying to analyze it that way, where others don't. So this is a cool way, I think, for people to kind of navigate through that process and learn about some of these guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and then
you're finding that match.
Forge a relationship, going forward. And it's like a lot of people respond to certain words when it comes to taking a golf lesson. Like, you can have the greatest instructor, but he doesn't say it the right way, that where you're really responding to it. So then you go find the next person and they do it, and it's all of a sudden, voila, the light bulb goes on.
Yeah, if you have a high level instructor who's talking in
different language,
the golf verbiage, it's like, move the ball up in your stance, and you have a beginner like, what does that mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, step towards this way or that way. So it's kind of just making sure you put it in layman's terms for those beginners, and finding that great match with an instructor.
Right.
Very cool.
Well, someone who is swinging the club very well, having a little bit of ups and downs with his putter, is our friend Scotty Scheffler. It was nice of him to let someone else win this week, right? It wasn't it?
What a guy.
He's human.
The Texas Children's Houston Open. That Stephan Jager, who's been hanging around week after week after week, and you knew he was about to knock one down, the 34-year-old German. But you're watching it on Sunday, and you're like, oh my God, here comes Scheffler. And it must be so uncomfortable when you're playing against him. But he misses a 5-footer to tie it. And our guy, Stephan Jager, walks away with $1.6 million. He will be playing in the Masters. Seems to be a lock for the Olympics now, right? So, but yeah, Harry, he was hanging around for a while, and it's like you kind of knew. Well, it's weird, because when you see these guys like this, it's like either he's going to get his win, or you're probably not going to hear from him for a while, right? But he looked like a guy that was like poised to get it done.
And now we're all waiting for the floodgates to open, since that victory is behind him. But he's been hanging around, man. He is a T3 at Torrey Pines. He had a T3 down in Mexico. Had the lead in both those tournaments, prior to Sunday. But he made birdies on 8 and 9, and then all pars coming in on the back 9. You know, he's just making pars and watching Scotty get closer and closer and closer. And you guarantee if you're Stephan Jager, you're standing there watching Scotty attempt that putt like this is going in. He's making this.
Get ready for the
I'm
playoff.
going to a playoff, right? You're like,
let me stay loose.
God, he missed it.
Can you imagine just looking up at that scoreboard and like knowing like that's who's behind you, like that's who's chasing you down? Like my nerves would be through the roof.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't even just Scotty. Scotty had the last chance, but Toasty, we got I didn't know anything about Alejandro Toasty, but the guy hits it 1.5 miles. He's hitting 360, 370 yard drive.
Not a big guy. Not a big guy either.
No. And then Dietrich, of course, had a good week. Yeah. Moore and Finau was even in the mix, one shot back. So I had Sahith Theegala, who makes the cut and just did absolutely nothing. Figures.
You know, it's funny too, because, you know, Scotty's people were thinking about that 5-footer that he missed a tie, but he probably lost the tournament on Friday when he 3-putted from 7 foot.
Yep.
It's just so crazy when you see that, right? And we see it occasionally, a couple times a year. You'll see Spieth
will do it.
Where just lose concentration, just be mad at the first putt, try to tap in the second one, and now all of a sudden you're putting back for a 3-putt. And a guy like Scotty, you don't see that kind of, you know, thing happen to him often. But you know, when he's thinking about this tournament and another win he could have had, he's got to be thinking about that.
Yeah, and that ended his under par streak at 28 rounds of under par golf. But he shot 70 that day, which was par. So his par or better streak survives.
Still going.
Tiger Woods's is 52 rounds at par or better. Scotty's got a long way to go to get to that because he's at, I believe, 30.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I got to share this. I thought this was interesting. Like the theme of the season, maybe not this past week, but long shots. And I saw this info come from a tweet from Dan Rappaport. It said, we're about 35% through the PGA Tour season. Rory, Jordan, Colin, Xander, Victor, Patrick Cantlay, Homa, Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, JT, and Tony Finau have a combined 0 wins.
Yeah.
So far, but also noting most of these guys, their wins have come later in the season, but just kind of crazy looking at, it's either Scheffler or it's been a long shot.
Yeah, it definitely has been cool. I don't know what was Jager coming in. What was Jager's odds? I never checked.
I don't know. I'm sure he wasn't. I don't think he was too much of a long shot just because of the way he's been playing. But
he's been trending. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what his number was, but I know I didn't have him. So
no, I didn't either. One guy in our one and done pool did have him.
Really?
Oh yeah, he got $1.6 million out of it. So yeah.
Okay.
So
Danielle, any tea to spill for the folks? You spilled some tea last week, and now all of a sudden it's everywhere. Breaking news yesterday. Did you see that? But if you listen to our podcast, you heard it a week earlier. But
we got to be nice with some of the news that we get. So, but yeah, we got some tea. And Harry, I know. Thank you. I appreciate you. Harry, I know that you probably watch women's golf a little bit more than I do, but Nelly Korda, the Scotty Scheffler of the LPGA, she's won 3 consecutive starts on the LPGA Tour, the first player to do it on the LPGA since 2016, and the first American to do it since Nancy Lopez. That's a name we haven't heard in a while, since Nancy won 5 straight events in 1978. She had a bogey-free 65 on Sunday. I mean, she's just a rock star.
Yep, won her last 3 starts at the Drive On. She won the Sayre Puck, and then last week at the Ford Invitational. And they got a major coming up in 2 weeks now. The first major of their 5. They play 5 on that tour. The Chevron down in Houston. She's number 1 in the world, and hopefully knock down her second major because nobody's playing better than her right now. And she'll go up against Lilia Vu, who's defending champion down there. I'm looking forward to that in 2 weeks. And this week they have the match play, but we also have the women's amateur at Augusta,
National,
which starts today actually. And they play the final round at Augusta on Saturday. So they play Champions Retreat.
Champions Retreat. Yep.
Yeah,
and first and second round today
beautiful
and tomorrow, 1:30 to 3:30 on Golf Channel. So,
and then Friday they don't play, and then Saturday they play the final round at Augusta National. So that'll be cool.
After the cut. Yeah, that'll be really cool. Friend of the show, Jason Bale, has 2 players up there. So he's up there getting them prepped and ready. So
nice.
We have some girls we're rooting for. A little bit more to not too much, but Liv is in Miami this week. Possible I may be taking a little trip down there just to see. I haven't seen a Liv event yet, so we'll see with that close.
You haven't lived yet.
I haven't lived.
You see a Liv event.
It's golf,
You haven't
but
lived
louder.
till you've been
Right.
to live.
Yeah. Just so we know.
Do we have a new sponsor?
Yeah. Yeah, John Rahm's the favorite, obviously, at plus 550. Wacko Neiman, the second favorite. And then Bryson is the third favorite at plus 1,100.
I feel like I haven't heard Bryson's name in a while. I came across his like a video on Instagram. I go, is this Bryson giving a swing lesson on Instagram?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Like, I was so thrown off because I was like, why is he giving a swing lesson? But yeah, it was interesting. I watched it. But staying on the topic of Liv, Anthony Kim said in an interview with Faraday that he only started hitting balls 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And Liv Jetta was like a month or so ago. So 12 years off, 2 months practice, and gets in an event with a $25 million purse. That's kind of silly, but the full interview came out today. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but it's on all Liv socials. If anybody wants to see what's going on, I know when he first came out, everyone's like, he looks different, something's wrong, like what happened. So I'm interested. Did any of you see that interview?
I saw
yet,
clips of it. I saw clips. It's with David Faraday, who's another guy who's been to dark places in his life. So I'm anxiously awaiting I'm going to watch it today. That
well,
will
you have
get
to
more...
sign up for their thing to watch it, I think. But
oh, really?
A lot of the comments I see are like, yeah, they just kind of just scratched the surface. He didn't dig too deep. Like the stuff that people really want to know, like, you know. But you know, you got to see it for yourself and see.
Well, that will probably get.
Can we get him on
clicks.
Full Swing season 3?
Yeah, right. That'll probably get more clicks than anything else that they've ever done.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. People want to know.
Yeah.
Smart marketing. And then, guys, there's something big happening. And, you know, we got like 10 days or something. Masters talk. We heard Tiger is playing Augusta. And then some other first-time notables, Ludwig, Wyndham, Nick Dunlap, Jake Knapp, Peter Malnati, Grayson Murray, and Matthew Pavon. So, I don't know. I feel like just this time of year, April stretch coming, you're just ready. You have the Augusta National Women's Am where we're going to get a little peek at Augusta. I'm excited. You guys gonna have some pimento cheese sandwiches or some
clip on social media.
Ice cream.
Did you guys see the Masters clip on social media where they're showing, you know, behind the scenes with Tiger and the cow? Oh my God, that was so cool. That was
I can't get enough.
No, give me some more.
Really.
It's the best. It really is. It really, really is. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Good stuff. Thank you, Danielle. But there is well, first, speaking about going to the Masters, you know, you're going to watch it this year and you're going to think to yourself, God, I would love to go. If you are thinking that, go see our friends at All Access GTE. Head to the link in our Instagram bio. There's a link that's specially for us. If you want to do something like that, finally go to Augusta. Those guys can take care of it. If you want to go play the courses in Ireland and Scotland, those guys can take care of it. They are the best at what they do. You know, you heard from you know, people being on this show, whether it be, you know, Ryan or any of his guys, they have the expertise. They know what they're doing. So check them out. All Access GTE, link in our Instagram bio for the special homepage. But one more week we have to wait, and we stay in Texas for the Valero Texas Open. This is it. One more before the Masters. So a lot of guys are using it for the tune-up. And you know, when you look at the leaderboard, right, Rory's playing in this one at 900, Ober, Spieth, Matsuyama, Morikawa, two-time winner Corey Connors sit at the top of the board. But Harry, do you enjoy the Valero Texas Open?
I do.
Yeah.
It's a place where I'd love to go, to that Marriott hotel down there, where all the players stay. They got this water park. It's like just an awesome place to like.
Is that what we see behind you?
Well, actually, yeah, that's the hotel behind me, and then directly behind me is the 16th green, which is a par 3 with the bunker right in the middle of the green, which I'll get to. But yeah, it's a great place to take your family, and they got two great golf courses. One is a Pete Dye, and the other one where they play this tournament is a Greg Norman design, 7,438 yards, par 72. Sergio Garcia actually consulted on the project with Greg Norman. There's 10 of the top 22 in the official World Golf Rankings are in the field this week. Moose, you detailed them. Bermuda grass everywhere. It's pretty flat. The downhill holes are into the wind, and the uphill holes play downwind. We'll start with the 15th, the par 4. The finish is great. The par 4, 464-yarder, Avoid the bunker on the right off the fairway, off the tee, the right side of the fairway. There's a big cross bunker short of the green that's a lot farther from the green than meets the eye. The green is real small and well protected by sand. Tough par 4. Then they go to that par 3 16th, which you see behind me. 183 yards, well protected with bunkers on all sides, and the bunker right in the middle of the green, which divides the green into 3 really smaller target areas that they'll be going for, depending on where the pins are. The 17th is a par 4, only 347 yards. It can be driven, but the layups, you're laying up, you should favor the right side to avoid this massive bunker that you have to go over with your approach shot. On the guards, the left side and part of the front of the green. And this green is really a lot of movement on the 17th green. Putts will go, left to right, right to left, all over the place. And then the par 5, 18th, the finishing hole, is an uphill 590 yards. Fairway slopes right to left. There's a creek that runs all the way up the left that bisects the fairway. And the green has 3 levels. Great drama for risk reward. A lot of guys that will end up in this creek going forward in 2 when they need to make an eagle or a definite birdie. So it's a great finishing hole, a really tough golf course. Just ask Kevin Na, because back in 2011, Kevin Na put up a 16 on the par 4 9th hole. I'll never forget it. He hit it into the scrub brush, and it took him like 7 shots to just get out of there. And his caddy, who we had on a year or so ago, went in there afterwards, I think, with a chainsaw and like started cutting some of the trees. A 16.
That's wild.
Ouch.
Yes.
Ouch. It's funny too, because it's 6 of the last 12 winners were first time winners, 4 of the past 6. So we've seen that a lot this year, and will that continue?
Right.
And this is like one of those events where it's like, is this a tune-up? Right? Are guys working on stuff for next week, not necessarily trying to score and win? Not that they're not always trying to do that, but are there specific things in their game? So this is always a weird one, and it kind of is a little quirky to handicap. And it's funny because Corey Connors, who won it in 23 and in 19. Yeah, JJ Spawn win this. Obviously, Spieth won it in 21. So this is one where it could be a little bit all over the board for that reason, where it sits now in the schedule. So
you're exactly right.
How it plays out. Yeah.
Exactly
Are there any
right.
players sitting out that are just maybe just practicing and prepping?
Like Scheffler's not in the field.
Yeah, Scheffler's not in the field. But yeah, you're right. Like, are these guys really there to commit to 4 rounds, or are they kind of okay with missing the cut and just getting a head start going to Augusta and start working on that? So it is a tough one to handicap.
Yeah. But we will see the line with our friends at DraftKings, because the PGA Tour is in full swing. So get in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting operator of the PGA Tour. This week, new customers can turn $5 into $150 instantly in bonus bets on any golf bet. We talked about some of the odds, right? Rory sits very high at 900. Corey Connors, you have Morikawa, Matsuyama, who are up at the top of the board, and Spieth, who's won it before, is sitting at 2,000. And then look ahead next week to the Masters. Check out those lines on DraftKings Sportsbook. A little bit of movement, not much. Obviously, Scotty with the shortest line I've seen in a while at 400, separated by 600 points until you get to Rory to 1,000. But download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code DING. New customers can bet $5 to get $150 instantly in bonus bets only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code DING. The crown is yours.
Great stuff, Moose. You got to watch out for those live guys now at the Masters. They are going to be highly motivated.
Oh, yeah.
To come in there and get a green jacket, and of course, John Rahm defending. So,
yeah, and they're sitting at the top of the board when you look at the Masters. But
where's Brooksy at?
He's sitting up there.
2,200 maybe?
Down to 1,800.
Oh, is it 18?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take a look at that in a second. But a couple plays I like for this one. You have Charlie Hoffman at 130. He won here in 16. He's got a second. I think he has 3 second places here. 9 times he's finished 13th or better, and he's coming in hot off of the waste management. Our guy Lucas Glover at 7,500. He was 4th here in 2021. Harry, I know you love Billy Horschel, right? You got to take a look at him. T7, T12 here at 3,500. That number is probably going to start shrinking if you don't hop on it.
Yep.
And more of a long shot. Ryan Moore, 110. T31, T5 here, T5 at Valspar. So, a couple guys to keep an eye on for this. And I also like Tom Kim this week, and I don't really know why. He just jumped out at me on the board at 5,500. So
I tell you who else from a fantasy golf perspective, like building a team, a guy that plays really, really well here, but has been playing really, really poorly lately is Matt Kuchar. This could be a spot where he gets it back. He loves this place, and he's going to be very affordable, a guy to round out, the lower end of your lineup. You mentioned Charlie Hoffman. That's a great play. And so is a guy, like you mentioned, Lucas Glover, I believe, too. Ben on towards the top of the board is a guy that I think will have a good week. But you mentioned Billy Horschel. You must have been looking at my notes, Moose, because he's my one and done player this week. If you look at his stats, he should have already won by now with as well. He's driving the ball and also putting the ball. He's plus 360 in a top 10. I'm going to use him in the one and done. So maybe I just cursed him, but I will take him in a matchup over Bo Hostler at minus 130. That's BH on BH crime in that matchup. I'm going to take our guy Eric Cole minus 120 over Denny McCarthy in a matchup. And Alex Noren, I think, is a guy that's going to play well this week. Minus 130 over Morikawa. Think about that. Colin Morikawa on the losing end of a matchup to Alex Noren. That tells you everything you need to know about what the odds makers think of Colin Morikawa's game as we head into the Masters. Alex Noren plus 150 in a top 20. Ben on, I mentioned, top 20 at plus 175. And Russell Henley is a guy I think could compete for the championship here, plus 200 in a top 20.
Harry, I just need to clarify. Did you say you're taking Eric Cole over Denny McCarthy?
I am. Yes, I am in a matchup.
I was going to say, I recall a text that
he was dead to me.
However,
Those are
I can share this casually. I do know that Denny McCarthy has been making some trips up to Augusta to prep within the past month or so. So you may want to reconsider that or just go with your gut feeling.
Well, his mind is on Augusta,
Tune up. Tune up. So I just took a look at the Masters. I think 6 of the top 18 are live guys on the board. Right. So you have Rahm sitting at I'm ranking them based on their odds, right? You have Rahm at 3, right at 1,200, then Brooks a little bit further down. You have Joaquin Niemann, you have Cam Smith at 2,800, you have DJ at 3,500, and then Bryson at 4,000. And then there's a little bit of a fall off until you see the next Terrell Hatton at 6,500 is the next guy. But
wow.
Yeah, but Scotty's sitting at 400 still, followed by Rory at 1,000, and then Rahm, like we said, at 1,200.
What was Cam
still
Smith?
Pretty up there. Cam Smith is 2,800.
Okay,
he's right in between Hideki and Patrick Cantlay.
Oh man,
and then Justin Thomas.
Great.
Wyndham Clark's number is still, I know, might not have the experience here like some of the other guys, but I'm surprised he's not a little bit higher just based on recent form.
Yeah.
And they love Zalatoris in the majors too, 3,500.
Yeah, it hasn't been playing well the last couple of starts.
Yeah, and that's a tough course to kind of find it on. Right?
I agree. But a lot of people like Hideki this week. I already took him in one and done, but he's a good play at this golf course. And also, kind of down the board a little bit, Adam Scott might be a sneaky good play this week. I already used him.
Yeah, I went Charlie Hoffman into one and done.
Yeah,
I like him this week. I was going to go with Horschel, but decided to go with Charlie. But so I am I'm playing. It's called Plantation Bay. It's in Ormond Beach. I'm playing that Friday morning. So playing a nice little private course down here that my club pro, my guy John DeMarco from the Legacy Club, was able to get me on. So only one round.
If you extend that late Saturday flight, we'll head up there. Or like B said, he's like, just come down here Saturday and Sunday. We'll take you all over down here.
Yeah, send the wife and the kids home, and then you just go to Jupiter for 2 days.
I was thinking about extending because we took my daughter to see UF yesterday. And while we're down here, we should have went over to USF and seen a couple other schools. So, but maybe we might have to make
tell them you need to see Palm Beach Atlantic University. 10 minutes away from me.
Or Nova Southeastern. That's down there on the coast too.
I think. Exactly.
So many schools. We thought we have a lot of schools in the Philadelphia area, but the only difference is like most of the schools down here have Florida in the name, so it's like confusing to
FAU
to
and Boca Raton is nice too.
Yeah. That's getting a lot of looks. I don't know if I'd need my daughter that close to Miami though, so we'll try to keep her a little bit up north, but
send her to Idaho. University of Idaho.
But she wants to get out of the cold. She's like, I just want to go someplace warm. So I'm like, I can't blame you. I'll be.
I did too when I was in college. My father wasn't having it.
Yeah, exactly.
And we all went to Temple.
That's right.
Picturesque North Broad Street we all
Yep.
went to. No
Oh, yeah.
palm trees up there for sure.
Definitely.
On-demand golf, check it out. Pretty cool concept. GPS-based app that helps golfers find a lesson with a local pro, which is super, super important. So yeah, curious to see where that thing goes and how it grows because it's so relevant right now and so popular, and I think people are understanding the importance of getting a little knowledge from somebody. So
Yeah, and only a couple slots left for the Pro-Am on Tuesday, May 21st at Jeffersonville.
that's right.
Great
That's right.
spot.
And then we will obviously be launching our fantasy with DraftKings for the Masters. So we'll make that a big one. Looking forward to that, and we are inching ever closer to Augusta. Hopefully, any advanced weather forecast, Harry, that you've seen for?
Well, I know around here it's going to warm up.
Yeah.
And the rain is finally going to stop, I think, after today. But no, I haven't looked at the Augusta weather report. They're usually, due for a little bit of rain and some wind on some of these early spring days.
Yep, no doubt. All right, we will be back next week with our preview of the Masters and see if another first-time winner took home the Valero Texas Open. Thank you. Talk soon.